You're up, Commissioner.
We're back in session as the Board of Equalization. We'll go ahead and have the deputy clerk swear in everyone who is going to participate in a hearing at the 3 o'clock time period.
Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
I switched, yeah. You'll have to switch it back.
Okay.
So.
You want to just keep it, Nancy?
It's fine, yeah.
Okay, under Idaho Code 63501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the Board of Equalization. We are here to determine market value under Idaho Code 63205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. of the first day of January in the year in which such property tax are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that the market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor, and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to exemptions from taxation. The taxpayer shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition, the state, or information that is relevant to this topic. That is fact and not opinion. We're not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The process will be that the property owner will be given 3 minutes. If there's questions from the assessor's table, they will be answered, and then the assessor will be given 3 minutes. If there's questions from the appellant, they will be given time to ask those questions, and then comments and from the board. Rules of the hearing: be kind, direct all questions or comments to the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave the chambers. All right, Mr. Kraft. First one up is Armstrong, Rachel Armstrong.
Okay, thanks. She hurt herself and she asked me to kind of pinch it.
Please introduce yourself, and then your 3 minutes will begin.
I didn't know who this person is.
This is our
I'm the
chief of staff.
Chief of staff?
Yep, Braden Clayson.
None of these people.
Oh, okay, all right. We're not the prosecutor, the clerk.
No.
He's my bouncer.
Oh, geez, he looks pretty tough. In my younger days, I might take him on. Okay, I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Rachel Armstrong. She purchased a
Okay,
piece of...
your three. Introduce yourself in the mic.
My name is Mark Crafts.
Okay, and then your time will begin.
I'm here on behalf of my daughter, Rachel Armstrong, who bought a piece of property directly from the developer back in 2001. It's called the Grant Street Landing is the name of it. And there are issues that have come to my mind now that I've had a chance to look at this property, is that there are some features, engineered features, built into the property by various people in direct violation of OSHA laws, EPA laws, and Department of Transportation laws. And anything that happens as a result of all that, since my daughter is the owner, she is liable. And since those things were all all done without her knowledge, someone needs to step up to the plate and take the responsibility for this problem. And I'll get specific with you here on this property. A water collection area was dug on the northwest end. This collection area measures 85 feet by 270 feet and takes up about 200,000 some odd feet. It's over half acre. And this thing here is a big hole in the ground located directly to South Grant. It collects water from South Grant. There's a steep engineered overhang with no OSHA protection. If someone run into that pit and died, my daughter would be liable. If the water ran into there and mosquitoes developed, causing some virus of some kind, my daughter would be liable. If the EPA should have a sign off on this, OSHA should have a sign off on this, and so should the Department of Transportation have a sign off on this. And I make a motion that this thing be stopped, adjudicated, until all these issues can be made. And I think there's a lot of people in and out of this room that was going to be impacted by it. And there's also a bunch of 3-foot boulders been placed along the front, along Grant Street, which once again, if a person would run into them with their car, could either cause bodily damage or death, and they're located on her property. And to make a long story short, of the 3 acres she bought, there's only 1/4 acre suitable for construction. And so, based on that, I'm going to make the motion that her property taxes be reduced.
Okay, you don't get a motion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you done?
I'd like to tell you what I think it's worth.
You go ahead.
I think, I don't know how to phrase it.
In your opinion.
Her property taxes should be 0. And go back to when she paid before, 0. And have it all adjudicated.
Okay,
That's my statement.
there's your time. Comments?
No, thank you, not right now.
Okay, your 3 minutes begin.
Okay, subject property is a 3-acre parcel, a new subdivision. So these subdivisions do need to be approved through planning and zoning. And it's been, purchase price was $150,000. I did speak with Rachel, and the land schedule, because of the large acreage, needed to be adjusted so that it would be in the city limits with the large acreage. So assessor's recommendation would be to bring the value in at the correct land schedule, which would bring it in at $145,712. And again, this is a purchase price was $150,000, and it is a subdivision that's been approved through planning and zoning. Thank you.
Okay. Anything on what you just said?
I know the drill, so I'll probably be getting back with you in a hardball way.
No problem.
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPGSL 000600, I make a motion that we accept the assessor's recommendation of a land value of $145,712.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
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 I was wondering if you were going to vote.
I was writing down our decision. All right, if you know the drill, then you know that you have the ability to appeal to the state or to the courts. The same with the assessor's table. Other than that, your hearing is
And
over.
my comments are on the record, and I get a printed and recorded copy.
You can request one.
Yeah, I'd like to have that.
You can
You
request.
gotta submit a request.
To
The clerk. Clerk of the court.
Or they,
After you get your decision.
oh, well, we'll have a few days to do that.
Yeah, it'll be.
Have a good 4th of
It'll
July,
be a
gentlemen.
few weeks. All right, thank you. All right. Let's see. Next, we have the McConkeys.
Thank you for meeting with us today. We are Andy and Wendy McConkey, reside in McCammon, and we're here to dispute the value that our home has been assessed at. We received an assessment. First of all, we purchased this home in late 18 at $285,000, and now the value from the assessor has nearly doubled at $545,344. We dispute that on basis of fact from an email that was attached to our submission from real estate agent Brandy Townsend, that the average increase in Bannock County in 2021-22 was 26.29%. Looking at our assessment, our value increased by 55% from 21,000, for the property was 21,000, excuse me. It went from, I have this number here, 26,916, and it went to, where's that number at? It's right here. Find my assessed. Yeah, 41,774. That's an increase of 55%. Our home went from 357,084 to a value of 503,570, which represents a 42% increase in the value of our property. Now, if that's an average, I'm a firm believer that the south end of the county in McCammon is probably less popular to live in as proposed by its population. But therefore, the percentages in Pocatello are raising that increase, while the numbers down south in McCammon, Ingham, Downey, Animal are lowering that number. And we propose that we would be assessed at the value of 26.3%, at the value of $485,000 combined. The property would go to $33,976. Let's just make it $34,000, while the property at 26.3%, it's 26.29 is the average. We'll go 26.3 at $451,000 for a total of $485,000. We propose that our property be assessed and valued at $485,000 for this current year. Any comments from you, Wendy?
Other than the 26% increase included all of Bannock County, not just McCammon. So we were increased far beyond any, than what Bannock County is.
That's all we have for you, I believe, Commissioners.
Questions?
I just would like to make a comment regarding 123 Old Tom Road, which is a comparable, that it has 1,358 square feet on the main and the same in the basement, but there's only 130 square feet of finish in the basement for a total of 1,488 square foot of finish, where subject property has 3,344 square foot of finish. So that's more than double, and it sold for $465. Even though it's after January, it just kind of shows you what the market's doing, and I feel it more supports our value than it does lowering the value. Thank you.
Okay, your 3 minutes.
I would like to just jump down to comparables. This is on a half acre, 0.55 acre, 1737 Mountain View, coming in at 148 a finished square foot. Haystack, which is there in Ingham, is coming in at 106 per square foot. And rural McCammon, 1012 East Jensen, is coming in at 223 per square foot. And Taylor, there in Ingham, is coming in at 180. Having said that, these are homes 2003, 2007, 2002, 2008, and similar square footage. Thank you.
Okay. Comments about what you just said?
I do have a question. Is the land the same on those as they are on ours? Because that will make a difference. Where we're on just about a half acre, is there more property involved in those ones that you're quoting to us?
Yes, the one on East Jensen does have more acreage, but we subtract out the land, and we will subtract out any outbuildings or concrete or any amenities that the home might have, so that we get to the base value of the dwelling.
My concern mainly is the average percentage increase for all of Bannock County, and we do not fall within those lines of that increase that's gone on for 2021, 2022. And that's where we're looking at, is the average increase of 26 point, I don't remember.
3.
26.3. you know, and ours is what,
0.52.
you know, 15, almost 13% higher than the average. And that's what we're looking at, overall average for the county of Bannock.
Okay. Commissioner Huff?
And it's a good argument. I like the
Thank you.
argument. Give me a minute just to do a couple calculations here real quick.
And I'll just talk to you a little bit about the properties.
Sure.
So in 19, 20, 21, your property didn't increase in value at all.
In 21, it went to 384. That's what we had.
We
no.
appealed that one too.
No,
Oh, but you mean the
I'm-
property?
I'm just talking about the property.
Oh, the
okay.
property.
And that's what you was talking about.
Yes, yes.
Talking about properties themselves.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, I think
So-
about all 3 years. yeah.
So if you're talking just properties, that's why there's a big jump right now, because you haven't taken the trend for the last 3 years and even included it. So now as they look at it, they include that trend from 3 years back that you guys didn't get accounted for at all. So that's why in the property, I can see a bigger jump in percentage-wise, because you haven't had a percentage in 3 years.
Was that countywide? Is that something that happened countywide or just McCann?
No, it's spotty in different areas.
Spotty.
And
Okay.
that's something that we catch up. Just the facts there.
So that property was at 26,916 for 3 years, you say? Mr. Moser?
In 2019, your property was at 2458. In
Okay.
21, or 20, it went to 21,535.
That's a
In
slight
21, it
increase.
went to 26,916.
That's 25% increase there.
And then,
But it went down in 20,
and
by about
then,
3%.
then in this year, 20, which is 20, it says 22, but during the year of 21,
It jumped up to
It
40.
jumped.
Yeah, 15,000.
just simply because the previous years, it wasn't increased.
But is.
I mean, you can say, yeah, a couple thousand, but others were increased up there. And as we've looked at those that are around you, those properties that are around you in your neighborhood, they're assessed at this value. Something else, Commissioner Huff?
I'm just looking at this per square footage cost, and since you guys brought up the Old Tom comparison, I looked at that, and if I did that by the square foot, that would be at $159 a square foot. Yours is assessed currently at $142 a square foot, if I'm looking at the comp sheet correctly.
148.
Yeah, 148. So I'm willing to leave you at the 148 per square foot compared to the 159 that you were referencing. I think you're getting a little bit of a deal there. And then also, as I look, as Commissioner Moser talked about, comparing you with the values of the other homes in the area, you're pretty consistent with that. So I don't see you being out of alignment with them.
The homes that she mentioned, were those sales or asking prices currently?
Well,
I
one
don't
of them
what
we
she
know is a
referred
sale.
to.
Those are 2021 sales.
Sales.
Okay. Anything else?
No, because if I look on the internet and see what the internet says, the internet price is above what the assessor's saying, so.
You're saying Zillow or something like
Yeah.
that is showing us it much higher?
Should be higher.
Yeah, I'd be.
And I guess what we kind of look at too is, they may assess it at that amount, but could we actually sell it for that
Yeah.
amount? You know what I mean? So that we, you know, that's why we're appealing just, and based on the 26.2% average in Bannock County, you know, that, I mean, we knew that it was going to take a jump because the market has gone crazy.
Right.
But we weren't sure that a 42% versus a 26.2%.
And that's the thing that Commissioner Moser talked about, where you were stagnant for a couple of
Right.
years, and you came to BOE and we moved you back. That's why the big jump that is out of
Right.
alignment, because you've
On the land,
received some of that in prior years.
right.
You have a.
And you were saying 142, is that what you said?
No, I
What'd you
was.
say?
They have you, the assessor has you set up or estimated at $148 a square foot.
Uh-huh.
And when I compare that to the Old Tom sale that you referenced, that was $159 a square foot. So you're assessed below what the market is in your neighborhood that you referenced, so.
Well, I just kind of, as I've looked at this, the land value I have no problem with. The other, I mean, that is a substantial jump. So if I take the 357,084 basically that you had last year as your improvement value, and take that times 30%, and then add in the new land value, I come up at around 516,000.
We would accept that proposal as well.
Okay, this just
Oh, talking to
discussion.
them.
Discussion here.
I mean, that's,
No, that's, it's all right here right now.
Okay.
Stand back, coach.
foul.
I'm okay with that. That seems reasonable. Keeps him in line with the rest of the neighborhood, so.
As we looked at it, a neighbor right there in the area, it was 515, so it was right there in that same bracket. Can I make a motion? You want me to?
You've got the number there in front of you.
Okay. On parcel R, PRMBA 1000400, I make a motion that we adjust the value to 516,000 with the adjustment coming off the improvement. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, you have the ability to appeal, the assessor's table has the ability to appeal.
Okay.
We won't need to.
But other than that,
Thank you for your time.
our hearing is done.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Are we free to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
So if they're a coach, they know.
Yeah,
Oh, I was.
we know two of these two fellas. Have a great weekend.
All right.
Thank you.
Ms. Martinez?
Good afternoon.
Hello.
My name is Sylvia Martinez, and I live on 218 South 17th, and I am appealing my tax increase, which I guess I didn't know the percentage, but I'm learning that it was 26.2% for this past year, which makes the market value, according to my, excuse me, my form, 290,741, up from 214,750. I do know that my taxes have increased around 300 to 400 per year until last year they went up quite a bit. I think I
Okay, I'll
paid.
just remind you that we're not talking about taxes.
Yeah, okay. But the home value has
Okay.
gone up considerably, which will make the market value, and things will be higher for this coming year. So I am, the home is an older home. I've been there 10 years. And after being there for a time, I've discovered that there are quite a few problems with the home: cracked retaining wall that leaks water, driveway cement, the foundation has cracks, double wood roof, which is quite old and coming apart, not just partial finished basement. Those are the things I can think of off the top of my head. Older electrical and plumbing. So I'm posing this considerable tax increase, current value for this year, for well, this will be for this year, 2022. Correct.
All right?
Did I hear you right, that you have a half-finished basement?
Yes.
Okay. We're showing 829 square feet of basement finish.
It's not
And-
totally finished, just partial.
Yeah, out of a total of 1,036 square feet. So we don't have it as fully finished, but we do have 800 square feet of finish.
I thought it was 900 and some square feet down, and then 900 something up. And you
We've
say
got
it's
it.
1,000?
We've got 1,036 on the main, 1,036 in the basement. So
That's news to me. It wasn't purchased for that, in that form.
we are happy to
1,000.
come out and remeasure if you would like us to. So
Total space each floor. How do you measure that?
by the exterior. We always measure by the exterior. We currently have your home. Oh, there's different dimensions, so.
Yeah, on the paperwork that I
Okay,
received, it was
okay.
900.
This
Yeah.
discussion doesn't go. All questions
Okay.
come right here to the board and are pertinent to the information that we receive, okay?
Okay, sure.
Okay, I will, subject property is located on 218 South 17th University area. It's a one-story, built in 1952, 1,036 square feet on the main, 1,036 square feet in the basement. And it's coming in at $105 per square foot. Comparable one is 235 17th Avenue, and it is coming in at $121 a square foot. And it's very similar, built in 1950, 1,050 square feet on the main and the lower. Comparable number 2 is 1952. It's coming in at 156. And comparable number 3 is 1952. It's coming in at 139. And those comparables are right there. They're maybe a block and a half. They're right in the vicinity of subject property. And they've all got the same issues, the same year built, same location. Thank you.
Thank you. Comments about what you just said?
It's a little bit over my head. I know I've heard about comparables, but this is the first house I've ever built or bought, so I just have the question about the square footage and I know you're basing your value off of on the market, which I have some questions about that also. How things are going up so fast, especially in this area in Idaho, because it doesn't seem quite correct to me, but that's what I feel is happening. So.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Huff?
I tend to think the assessors got it right. Looking at the internet stuff, the assessors below what the internet says. I look at all the properties surrounding it. I feel like it's pretty consistent with the neighborhood. The land values are all consistent.
I do have a question about, so this is for 2022, and you don't have any ideas of what's going to happen for next year. Could it go up the same amount, 26.2% again? Because if it does, I'm going to be taxed right out of my
There's always that
budget.
possibility, but
So what do people do in this
we
situation?
don't have,
When you're a single retired person and taxes are so high?
It's a problem we all face.
Where do you move?
That's the hard part right now.
To a trailer court?
I don't even know if you can do that.
I don't want to go move to a trailer court. I'm not, yeah. Yeah, that's my concern, because if they're going up this much in 1 year, and taxes have gone up, but I didn't realize that had gone up this much. I know there were a lot of people that were upset about how much they've gone up. And,
So, excuse me, question for the assessor's office. I'm looking at the other lots on the block, and the subject lot is .21 acres. for a price of 85.2, and yet I moved 3 houses, it looks to the north, for an approximate lot of .23 with a value of 59.6. The next one to that is 59.6, so those 3 are all right there in that 59.6. I go across the street, similar size lots, 51,000, so on and so forth. So now I'm a little nervous about the lot valuations. You got a thought on that for me?
We are currently putting all these lots onto land schedules. The subject property and my comparables are all on that land schedule. They're all equitable. The ones you are talking are converted values that we will be addressing as soon as we finish up with our BOEs ASAP.
May I ask you a question? What is the land schedule?
A land schedule is something that we put on in a
Because there might
neighborhood,
be a
usually a
discrepancy. I just
subdivision,
took this at
that
1,000
have,
and this at
they're all
829.
about the same
And then
you
times it
know,
by
square
105,
footage, pretty
and
close.
then add the
so that we
85, and I'm
can
coming
just
up
keep
with
them all
a sensible
equitable.
question.
So, and we watch the market very
The value.
closely. We do that all
290.
year long. We're watching it for
Maybe.
2023.
That's
And what we
You know
do
what
is
I'm
we
saying?
follow the cells. So if the cells tell us the values are going up or going down or
829.
staying level, then we will follow those, and the
times
assessed value, that's what it reflects. Does that help a little bit?
Yes, I see what the
And also,
idea is.
what we do is we take
Yeah,
out the
190.
land, any of the
Wait.
improvements, to come up with what
They
the
got
dwelling cost
196.
is, and then that's what we break down into square.
All right.
The
That's
improvement
what
on
I
the
put
land,
detached
on
garage.
on the acreage,
And-
not the house itself.
Right,
Okay, I'm
the
gonna
dwelling.
go.
For instance, if you've got
Coming
a
up
shop,
different numbers.
Oh.
It's Friday
concrete
afternoon.
patio, all that, it's taken out so
Oh.
that we get a base for,
Mhm.
does that help?
Okay, so it's just
So, what
assessed
about
on
property?
the house.
Well, like I said,
I'm still
depending on where they're at with their
a little,
land schedules.
so possibly the paperwork
Make
that
an
I
adjustment now, but
had
it's
showed
gonna
the
catch up with the
interior
next year.
square footage and not the exterior, like you were saying,
We always measure from the
the outside,
exterior.
the exterior, around the cement basement, concrete. So they get just a little bit more assessment in there.
So let me just talk to you about the land a little bit, and it's just like the couple that was just ahead of you.
Mhm.
In 2017, you was at 30,000. In 2018, you was 30,000. In 2019, you was 30,000. And your house didn't increase at all in those 3 years.
From 2017 through.
2017, 2018, 2019. No, here in 2019, you went up to 45 on 115, and then there was a correction made, and you went back down to 36, 450, and 125. And then last year, you come up to 55,000 and 159, and then this year up to 85,000 and 205.
Huge.
So if you
huge
go
jump.
flat for 3-4 years, that's when you experience a little bit bigger jump.
So it was flat for those years because market value was flat? or-
Because they didn't get changed by the assessor's office. I
Oh,
mean, just
dear.
plain and simple,
Right, I see. So then it just shot up.
and then it catches up to a person. So,
So we have no way of knowing in the future how it's gonna
No.
go.
and honestly, with interest rising and stuff like that, there's a good possibility that house value could go down, because people won't be able to
Afford.
purchase the same amount because of interest rates.
Haven't they
and
gone
different-
down some? Didn't I hear that?
The market seems to be softening right now,
Yeah,
but we're halfway through the year too. So-
yeah, well, like I'm saying, I'm not gonna move to a trailer court from
Oh, and-
my house.
I'll just tell you, we don't want to take anybody's house.
Well-
That's not our intent.
No, I'll just have to get a second job, or, I mean, I'm retired, but I
Yeah.
would have to.
Okay,
work
I'll call for a motion.
Give me 1 second, I'll have one for you.
It'd be nice not to have high taxes.
What's the assessed value at?
The assessed value right now is
All right. Mr. Chair, I would make a motion that we adjust the value down to 265,091 with the reduction coming off the land value, because we've got some issues with the land values all around that. And so I'm gonna go down to what's the closest approximation, because you got some right around the corner that are half the price for about the same lot. So I'll give the assessor some time to fix the land values.
Okay.
we have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So we did bring it down to
Okay.
265,091.
All right.
But like I said, you have the ability to appeal to the state or to the district courts, and so does the assessor's office.
Right.
With that, I'd say that our hearing is over.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Help. Appreciate it. Nice talking to you.
That block's got 2 or 3 different values all over on it.
Dave? You're up.
So, David Goodman is the name. There's many things I don't understand. There's no packet of information that people are given with comps. I know that happened in the past.
As I
And now
stated-
there's no way to...
As I stated in the first, that's your obligation as the homeowner.
Well, that's not how it was. So you're staging a hearing that claims to want to afford due process, and of course you're not. I have one simple...
Okay, if you keep going this direction,
I
our
have a-
hearing is over.
I have a simple question. Is a house that was purchased last July fit within the year, because I know we're paying taxes on the prior year? So is a house that was purchased last July within the realm of a comparable?
We can use it as a comp, but
You-
we time evaluate back to the January 1st. And they're doing 2% per month.
Okay. My house increased by assessment of 37%, which I feel is very unreasonable. And I purchased a house a half a block away last July from my daughter who's moving up here, and that value, my value is in a couple $1,000s of that, which just doesn't compute because it's a larger house. You don't even make a value on your website of parcel search. It only shows first floor square footage. And now I'm hearing people are giving information of basement square footage. So one can't even go on the website just to get the information. The big drawback of my house is that the sales ability is greatly reduced because I have knob and tube wiring. And it's prohibitively expensive, and we're 80 years old, my wife and I, to go through tearing apart the entire basement and walls upstairs to replace that is virtually impossible for us to just survive. So besides the fact that 37% I feel is unreasonable, we can hardly get insurance. If it wasn't for being able to get with the company that insured the prior owner, you can't even get insurance on a house with knob and tube, even though the wiring is functional. So I feel our value, the ability to resell the house, is greatly reduced because of that. It's a house that's built in 1925. So it's unreasonable to have this kind of increase on a house that I have no idea whether we could sell it. I mean, it's in the family, so we're going to live there till we die, and then it'll go to a family member.
Okay, thank you. Question?
No.
Okay, your 3 minutes begin.
Subject property is a 1925 one-story home on 939 West Lander. It's got 1,394 square feet on the main, 1,102 square feet in the basement, with 826 of that finished. Subject property is coming in at $76.95 per square foot. Comparable one is a 1927 home. Very comparable square footage. It's on Buchanan, right in the area. It sold in April of 2021, and it's coming in at $106 per square foot. Comparable number two, it's on Lander, same street, 920 Lander, .08. Very small lot, smaller, built in 1930, but it sold for $146 per square foot. And that was in June of last year. Comparable number three, 942 Fremont Street, .10 acres, and it sold for $189 per square foot. If you look down at the map, you can see that all these comparables are within a block or two of subject property.
Comments about what you just said?
What can you tell me about comparable to?
Comparable to, now that is on 920 Lander, West Lander.
Okay. It's on,
Yeah.
I believe I know where that house is, and the house is completely refinished, completely redone.
It's sold for,
I believe that's a kitty corner house to where I am. It's the only one that's sold there, and a completely redone house. Again, without the chance to even look at these properties before it's.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but the notices go out 2 weeks ahead of this. We have 2 weeks to get 400 people in here to talk to them, and that's why there's the ability for you after this to go to the state and appeal to the next level.
I understand. You realize my hearing was set up on Monday, and with a 3-day notice, I had a total of 24 hours.
You got your notice, your tax notice, it went out 3 weeks ago. Your assessment notice
June 6th.
went out 3 weeks
Right,
ago.
it went out,
And
yeah.
you had the ability to appeal since then. The final day to appeal was last Monday.
Which is when I went, yeah, I had missed.
And if people wait till Monday, then that's when they get the later notices, because we have 2 weeks to talk to 400 people. So I understand what you're saying, but we have a very strict timeline that we have to adhere to. Okay, back to the BOE. Any comments?
No, the market's where it's at. I think the assessor's value is correct.
Motion?
Correct.
Yes, sir?
Oh, I was just going to say, it doesn't seem that in your records, in anywhere does it show things like knob and tube, which are a very important factor in the resaleability of a home.
I believe they've made an adjustment for that because your price per square foot is the lowest I've seen in the last week. So if they're valuing you at basically $77 a square foot, I believe they've made an adjustment for that knob and tube wiring in their assessment. So,
$77 is what you're saying?
yeah. So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPPOC 425000, I make a motion we uphold the assessed value.
Have a motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, like I say, Mr. Goodwin,
Yes, sir.
you have the ability to, in a couple of weeks, you can go over into the clerk's office and go to the state and appeal and take any evidence you want to there, or go to the district court. But other than that, we're
Thank
through.
you.
Thank you. All right, we have Scott Harris and Benedetti that were on the schedule.
Yep.
I do
A no-show.
I do not see Scott Harris on my file packet.
Yeah, I don't see Scott Harris on here either.
Moved to the 7th.
He's on the 7th, yeah.
let's just call him Benedetti.
Okay. Yep, Benedetti. So it's another lot argument. Which BOE in 85 was 80, in BOE in 2019 was at 85,000. And then in 2020 it went to 54,000. And 21 was 67,000. We would have stayed at 85,000 and went up. We'd be where we're supposed to be. I mean, it just, some of this I don't understand. And what are we at? 126, 140, 121, 122?
I'm happy where we're at.
Motion?
Mr. Chairman, parcel RPRPSW 2012300. I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
We have a motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. With that being said, we'll be at recess till 4 o'clock.